I've done leaders' debates every election since 1999. I sort of live for it. Judith Collins and Jacinda Ardern both want the job of leading us through these times. What you'll get from the leaders' debate is which of the two major parties you want to shape our future.
The first leaders' debate, live next on One.
No mai, haere mai, welcome everyone. Kia ora koutou, i ngā rangatira. Jacinda Ardern, Judith Collins, tēnā kōrua, welcome. It is so good to have you with us. This is the first leaders' debate of the 2020 election campaign. I even have a new clipboard. One of the two women with us tonight will be our Prime Minister for the next 3 years, and what a job that will be in these strange, tough times. Speaking of which, we would have had a live studio audience here tonight, but COVID-19 took care of that, as it has impacted on so many things. But we do have our leaders, and we do have a debate, and we do have an election. This is important. We also have sign language interpreters doing their brilliant work. So if you are deaf or hard of hearing, you can see them on Freeview Channel 200. Freeview Channel 200. Now, tonight is a debate. We hope our leaders do debate. We have very much to get through. Speeches will be reluctantly interrupted by yours truly, reluctantly. We tossed a coin. One leader will start the evening, the other will finish it. And we'd like to begin with a vision from each of you to really inspire us during these difficult times. So, if you are Prime Minister after the election, what do you want New Zealand to look like in 3 years' time? Judith Collins.
Well, thank you. Well, I love our country, and that's why I do what I do. I look at where we've been going, and I think there is a better way. And that better way is about growing our economy, getting the money that we need for health and education and everything else that our grandchildren.
Yeah, we're going to talk a bit about your grandchildren. That was perfectly timed. That was the 30-second ding. That was brilliantly done. We're going to talk about our grandchildren a little bit later on in the program. But Jacinda Ardern, what do you want New Zealand to look like in 3 years' time?
You know, for the huge challenges that the world and indeed New Zealand faces right now, there is also enormous opportunity, a chance to build back better. John, so is optimism, and that's what Labour will bring.
Right. Let's pick up on some of the themes there, growing our economy, investing in our people. So we're going to talk about this a lot tonight. We've heard your visions. Thank you both and welcome. It's really nice to have you both here. So we're going to spend the night working out how we are going to achieve those visions, where we are going over the next 3 years and how we're going to get there. But Judith Collins, and I'm sorry, you're a guest in our whare, and I'm starting on the tough stuff. I apologise because I suspect you're not looking forward to this, but I just want to bring up the Colmar-Brunton poll from this evening. So Labour, this is the party vote, Labour on 48, National on 31. We don't have the graphic. We're just going to look at this for a while, but in Preferred Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern 54, you 18. The problem is, in fact, we're going to bring that up. I think we'll bring... but the problem is, Judith Collins, there's no momentum. You were 32 last time, you're 31 this time. You were the new broom that was supposed to sweep Labour out.
Well, of course, we've had the second lockdown brought about by... And I also see there's a lot of not decideds. So actually, I think there's a huge opportunity for us to show our vision and show that we have a much more positive...
It's really tough. You don't want to be on 31 now. You don't want to be on 18. And you don't, do you?
Oh, actually, leaders of the opposition are often in, the 18 grade, like they were equals.
Judith Collins and Jacinda Ardern, that was a good start and a good debate and good to and fro. Less of me, more of you. That is a good thing. Thank you both. We really appreciate it. After the break, we're going to talk about what we need to get right and the opportunity to do big reinventions now, given how up in the air everything is. Stay with us. We may not have an audience, but we do have questions from a range of New Zealanders tonight. The first of our special guests, I guess, sets down a challenge for the leaders after the break. Welcome back to the First Leaders Debate with Jacinda Ardern and Judith Collins. Thank you for your company, and thank you for your company, leaders. In the first break, our leaders' visions for the next 3 years and beyond, discussion about borders and how we get, where we're going. How do we get to the future that the leaders articulated in their opening statements? Here is our first question. And it's a universal and it's a particular question. We'll start with the particular. Let's hear it. You will have 30 seconds each to respond.
My name is David Smythe. I'm Chief of Medicine and Cardiologist at Christchurch Hospital. Behind me is the world-class shared toilet facilities with 6 others. How can you help us?
Jacinda Ardern, we're going to start with you. That seems like a strange question because it seems very particular to Canterbury, and I guess it is, but it's also an infrastructure question.
Yeah.
And it's about playing catch-up. And it's about what happens when we don't do the work when we need to do it, right? Yeah. So our DHB's total debt, somewhere north of 600.
I'd like them to front up what's been going on.
Jacinda Ardern, would you excuse them the debt?
There are 2 separate issues here. One, I would say, is New Zealand's infrastructure deficit, be it our schools, be it our hospitals.
Big issue. 400 people lose their jobs every day under this government.
We have to take a break. We're going to talk about stimulus and how we create jobs and how we protect jobs, and we're also going to talk about inequality. They are both very important things. Very quick question before we go. We're talking about our future, and we're talking about young people and their role in it. Should the voting age be lowered to 16, Judith Collins?
No, I don't think it does.
Jacinda Ardern?
I wouldn't rule it out in the future, but let's get civics right first. Let's support our young people to learn about politics.
Is that a yes or a no?
I don't know. It's like cannabis. Can't say.
OK, we've heard our leaders where they want to go, but will they be taking everyone along? This is the point around inequality, isn't it? So after the break, another question for our leaders. This is a really challenging one. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. It's great to have your company. We've been talking a lot about where we're going and how we're going to get there, what will work and what won't. But the question is, will some people be left behind? And that is what our second question tonight is about. It's a theme that we're going to pick up on and run with, and it comes from a really remarkable young New Zealander.
Talafo alo ingo o angangale fili fipule tapu'i, and I'm a head girl at Aorere College for Mangere in South Auckland. Over the course of this year, due to COVID-19,
that will create thousands of jobs. We've also invested in a shovel-ready project to train at the tech. Them. That's the kind of double duty I want right now.
Look,
we invest in skills,
we've got
we
a
build
huge
the infrastructure
right
we need,
now,
and we create
we've got a huge sector
Judith
right now that Ms Ardern does.
What happens to brilliant young women like Ayanga Lafili really matters.
I hope she's learning science. Maths.
Actually, I think she wants to be a climate change engineer.
Oh, well, that's great. We can find a job for her.
Well, but the point she's making is it might be a theoretical exercise because these kids don't feel they can afford to go to university because they're supporting mum and dad, right? And that's what we're going to talk about after the break.
Right.
Are you working really hard and feeling like you're getting nowhere? Do you ever think you'll own a home? Or that your kids will? Are you getting by? Let's get some answers from our leaders to another question after the break. Welcome back to the One News Leaders Debate. Jacinda Ardern and Judith Collins, it's great to have you both with us. Thank you for being here tonight. These are strange times. Nothing quite makes sense. We are in a recession, jobs are being lost, and there is a housing boom. But then again, there is almost always a housing boom in this country, which is great for those of us who can afford to be part of it. But, and it's a big but, and here's our next question.
Kia ora koroa, I'm Chris Farrelly and I'm the Auckland City Missioner. We are seeing more and more people.
Jacinda Ardern, we're going to give you 30 seconds each to speak to this because this is a big point, and then we'll have a broader discussion about the pressures on low-income households. So Jacinda Ardern first.
I spend a bit of time at you can be expected to have lost your train of thought at this point.
No, I wouldn't mind a gin, just quietly. No tourism, no foreign students. Our farmers stepping up again for the economy, but they're also our biggest carbon emitters. So how the hell do we get that complex balancing act right? That's what we're going to look at after the break. Welcome back, everyone. Farming has been the backbone of this country since some clever bugger put a fridge on a ship, right? But with climate change, our relationship with farming is complicated and it's not always easy for farmers to respond to. So after the tourism has gone, we need them to lift a heavy weight. But, and once again, it's a big but, as explained by our next special guest.
Kia ora, my name's Tracy Brown and I'm a Matamata dairy.
You know, Auckland Council, for instance, is needing to build a $1 billion piece of infrastructure to make sure that we're separating, you know, stormwater and sewage. So important investment needs to be made. But when it comes to those fresh water standards, I want our waterways to be swimming in that water again.
Jacinda Ardern and Judith Collins, thank you. Boy, this has flown by. I don't know what the time is, but...
Can we do it again?
Yeah, well,
it's good fun.
Well, I think you are going to do it again with Jessica Mackay, and that's coming up in a couple of weeks. But Coming up after the break, our final statement from our leaders, and after that we're going to go to Jessica Mackay. In fact, we've got a panel to assess their performances. Do stay with us. You are with the Leaders Debate. Thank you so much for the pleasure of your company. Jacinda Ardern and Judith Collins, thank you so much for the pleasure of your company. This is the last break. And we're going to get your farewell statements. What's most important to you, Judith Collins, in this country right now?
Right now, the fact that 400 New Zealanders are losing their jobs every day.
Jacinda Ardern and Judith Collins, thank you so much for being with us this evening. It's a bloody tough job being a politician. There's a lot of scrutiny, a lot of pressure on the campaign trail, and yet the best politicians have the capacity and the potential to lead us somewhere better. So I really wish you both well. One of you will be Prime Minister after the election, and may whoever it is be as successful as we all deserve. Thank you both for being with us tonight. We appreciate your time, we appreciate your passion, and we appreciate your energy. Good luck, both of you. Thank you.
John.
That's all from our two leaders. I do really wish them well. We'll be back, though, with our political editor, Jessica Mackay, and our political scientist, Jennifer Lees-Marshman. Right, we've changed studios. Political editor, Jessica Mackay, it is so good to be sitting beside you. Political scientist, University of Auckland political scientist, Jennifer Lees-Marshman, thank you so much for being here, you two. What did you make of it? Jess, do you want to start?
Yeah, fascinating stuff there, and I think we saw some quite different contrasting styles. I think that Judith Collins looked as though she was loving it, that she was really enjoying it, and I think she did a better job of getting her point in there, interrupting more of.
Wasn't
Such
it?
fun.
Yeah, thank you. When's your debate? When's the
15th of October, 2 days before the election.
Whoa, gee.
Yeah.
Whoa, gee. Jennifer Lees-Marshman, Jessica Mackay, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for such interesting debate.
Well, and thank you for joining us. That's it for the first Leaders Debate of the 2020 election campaign. There will be others. As we were just saying, our brilliant political editor is hosting one with these two leaders and also with what we rudely call the minor parties, which is extremely rude. That's coming up to multi-leaders. Do watch them and do vote. Democracy relies on participation, and that's you. Every vote is equal, which is a wonderful thing. This program has been a production of One News with Phil O'Sullivan as network executive. Our assistant producer was Vantna Barn, and our executive producer was Claire Sylvester. Thank you so much for being with us. Ka kite anō, and a very good evening indeed.